What if I told you that everything you've been taught about morality, loyalty, and even love was designed to make you weak? From the moment you were born, you were handed stories, rules, and values that sounded noble, but in reality, they were chains. You were told to always be honest, always be loyal, always be kind, even when it cost you your dignity, your power, even your survival. And you never stopped to question it, because everyone around you was repeating the same script. But here's the dark truth. None of it was meant to make you strong. It was meant to tame you, to make you predictable, to make you safe for others to control. Because if you ever saw reality for what it truly is, you would become dangerous. 500 years ago, Niccolò Machiavelli wrote down truths about human nature so raw, so unsettling that the Catholic Church banned his book. Leaders condemned him publicly while secretly studying his words in private. Why? Because he wasn't offering a theory. He wasn't offering morality. He was handing rulers an operating manual for human beings, not who we pretend to be, but who we actually are. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why society never wanted you to know this. That's why your teachers didn't tell you, why your parents never taught you, why even now most people will live and die blind to the very forces that rule their lives. But you're here, and you're about to see what they never will. This is the truth you were never supposed to know. Before we go any deeper, take a moment right now, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because what I'm about to reveal isn't just another motivational speech. These are the kinds of lessons that shift your entire perspective, the kind of insights that could make you untouchable in a world designed to keep you weak. And if you want to be the first to know when the next video drops, when the next truth gets uncovered, you'll want to be here waiting. 5 dark truths of Machiavelli revealed. Now that the blindfold is slipping, I need to prepare you for what comes next. What Machiavelli revealed was not gentle advice for living a comfortable life. It was a brutal dissection of human nature, stripped of illusions. Once you hear it, you won't see people the same way again. Every smile will look different. Every promise will feel different. These are not theories. They are laws, dark laws that govern politics, business, relationships, and even your own family. And the dangerous part is this. The people who already know these truths are using them against you every single day. They're playing chess while you're still playing checkers. Machiavelli left us a blueprint. 5 truths that cut through every comforting lie you've ever been told. 5 truths that can turn you from prey into predator, from pawn into player. And if you have the courage to keep listening, I'll walk you through each one. Dark Truth 1. Humans are emotional, not rational all your life. You've been told that human beings are rational creatures. That we weigh options, calculate risks, and make decisions based on logic and reason. It sounds flattering, doesn't it? To believe that we're intelligent, deliberate, and in control of our choices. But Machiavelli knew better. 500 years ago, he wrote, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel." What did he mean? He meant that appearances matter more than substance. That people are moved by what they see, not by what actually is. In other words, illusion is more powerful than truth. And here is the reality most people can't face. Humans don't make choices because they're illogical. They make choices because something makes them feel a certain way. Think about it. A friend asks you for advice about his toxic relationship. You tell him logically that he needs to leave. He nods, agrees, maybe even thanks you for your wisdom, and then goes right back to the same partner who's destroying him. Why? Because the truth hurts more than the comfort of staying. Logic dies the second it collides with desire. Or consider money. Your coworker complains every week about being broke. He swears he wants financial freedom, but what does he do every morning? He hands $5 to Starbucks for a paper cup of sugar and caffeine because the ritual feels good. The math doesn't matter, the feeling does. Even in dating, the same law rules. How many times have you heard someone say they want a nice partner who treats them with respect? And yet, how often do they end up in the arms of someone who is charming but cruel, magnetic but unreliable? Because deep down, people chase emotions, lust, excitement, the thrill of danger over stability and logic. This is why you lose arguments. This is why your carefully prepared facts get ignored. Because facts don't move people. Feelings do. The man who masters feelings doesn't need to win debates. He doesn't waste time trying to prove he's right. He makes people feel he's right. And that's infinitely more powerful. History proves it. Hitler didn't rise to power with spreadsheets and statistics. He rose with fiery speeches that inflamed anger, fear, and hope. Corporations don't make billions by showing you the chemical breakdown of soda. They sell you happiness in a bottle. Religions don't spread because of philosophical debates. They spread by capturing your heart, your soul, your fear of damnation, and your hope for paradise. And what about today? Look at social media influencers. Do you think they grow massive followings by being the most logical? No. They understand the algorithm of emotion, how to trigger envy, desire, or outrage in a single clip. They're not appealing to your rational brain. They're hijacking your feelings. Once you understand this, the game changes. If you keep trying to convince people with facts, you will always lose to the man who can stir their emotions. The world doesn't reward truth. It rewards those who control perception. And perception is built not on logic, but on feeling. So here's Machiavelli's first warning. Stop pretending people are rational. They're not. They are addicts, chasing feelings, clinging to illusions, avoiding pain, and running toward pleasure. And until you understand that, you'll always be one step behind. Dark Truth 2. Predator versus prey. The brutal law of power strip away the polite smiles, the social etiquette, the speeches about equality, and what do you see? The world isn't a peaceful village, it's a jungle. And in the jungle, there are only two kinds of men, predators and prey. Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. He understood that beneath all the layers of morality and civility, the oldest law of nature still rules. The strong take, the weak are taken from. And here's the part that should disturb you. Weakness doesn't just fail to protect you. It attracts predators. Like blood in the water, your fear, your passivity, your harmlessness draws in those who are waiting to consume you. Bullies in school don't target the toughest kid. They target the quiet one, the easy victim. Corporations don't fire their top performers when times get tough. They cut the weakest employees first. Even in relationships, women don't abandon the man who stands firm. They abandon the man who bends. Because deep down, everyone knows weakness is contagious, and no one wants to be dragged down by it. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Why? Not because cruelty is noble, but because fear keeps the wolves away. Love without strength invites betrayal, but fear, even without love, commands survival. The weak man convinces himself that being agreeable, harmless, and endlessly forgiving will make people cherish him. In reality, it makes him invisible at best, disposable at worst, and weakness doesn't just destroy the weak. It corrupts everyone around them. Think about it. A weak man in a workplace forces his stronger colleagues to carry him. A weak man in a relationship drains his partner until she either leaves him or collapses with him. A weak man in a family makes everyone else suffer under the weight of responsibilities he refuses to bear. The predator may be cruel, but at least he stands on his own. The weak man becomes a black hole, pulling others into his failure. Look at the dating dynamics in America. How many times have you heard women say they want a nice guy? And yet, they chase the man who radiates strength, confidence, and self-respect. Not because they love cruelty, but because they instinctively know weakness cannot protect them. And if you cannot protect, you cannot be valued. The same is true in business. Leaders rise not because they are the smartest or even the kindest, but because they radiate strength. They set boundaries. They inspire fear in competitors and respect in allies. The weak, on the other hand, are cut, overlooked, and ignored. Because when predators are searching for a target, they never pick the strong. They always go after the weak. Here's the cruelest twist. Society has lied to you your whole life. Your parents, your teachers, even your mentors told you to be nice, be agreeable, don't make waves. They convinced you that harmlessness was a virtue. But Machiavelli saw the truth. People confuse weakness for goodness, obedience for virtue, and niceness for value. But niceness without strength is poison. And weakness, disguised as virtue, is the surest path to being devoured. So ask yourself, in your daily life, in your career, in your relationships, are you predator or prey? Do people respect you, or do they use you? Do they listen when you speak, or do they ignore you because they know you'll bend anyway? Machiavelli's warning is as relevant now as it was 500 years ago. The jungle hasn't changed. The only question is, will you stand as the lion, feared enough to keep the wolves away? Or will you cower as the prey, waiting to be consumed by those stronger than you? Because in this world, survival doesn't go to the nice. It goes to the strong. Dark Truth 3. Loyalty and love are fragile illusions. Since childhood, you've been told that loyalty is sacred, that love conquers all. If you give yourself fully to friends, partners, or institutions, they will give the same back to you. It's a beautiful dream. But Machiavelli ripped the mask off that dream centuries ago. He saw the truth most men never dare to admit. Loyalty and love are not foundations, they are bargains. And bargains only last as long as they serve someone's interest. Think about your own life. How many friends swore they would always be there, only to vanish the moment you had nothing left to offer? How many companies preach that their employees are family until the next round of layoffs comes and those same employees are discarded like broken tools? How many relationships fall apart when one partner finds a better option? A richer man, a younger woman, a new thrill. Love lasts only until it costs too much. Loyalty exists only as long as it pays dividends. Machiavelli said it plainly. It is safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. He wasn't glorifying cruelty. He was acknowledging reality. Love is fragile, conditional, and temporary. Fear, though not noble, endures. It compels behavior even when feelings change. A man who builds his life on love alone is building on sand. But the man who commands fear secures his survival. Look at politics. Voters claim to love their leaders, but the moment a new candidate promises more, their love shifts overnight. Look at business. Customers swear loyalty to a brand, but the second a competitor offers a cheaper product, that loyalty evaporates. Even in romance, lovers promise forever, but what they mean is forever, as long as it benefits me. This is the brutal law most people refuse to admit. Loyalty without reciprocity isn't noble, it's a weakness. And weakness gets exploited until it's broken. A weak man clings to loyalty even when betrayed. He convinces himself that staying faithful while others abandon him makes him virtuous. In reality, it makes him prey. A powerful man sees loyalty differently. He tests it. He rewards it when it's proven. And he withdraws it instantly the moment it's betrayed. Because he understands that blind loyalty is not strength, it's slavery. And slaves always get broken. Think of the kings Machiavelli studied. The ones who trusted love alone were destroyed. The ones who demanded fear and respect survived. Or look at modern leaders. CEOs, presidents, generals, none of them gamble on unconditional loyalty. They build systems of reward and punishment to enforce it. They understand that loyalty is a contract, and every contract can be broken. And this isn't just about leaders, it's about you. When you give loyalty without testing it, when you pour love into someone who doesn't return it, when you sacrifice for people who wouldn't to do the same for you, you're not being noble. You're being used. And the moment you're no longer useful, they will move on without hesitation. The same is true in relationships. Women don't respect men who are endlessly loyal despite neglect or betrayal. They may use them, they may tolerate them, but they don't admire them. Respect comes when loyalty is paired with strength, when a man makes it clear that betrayal has consequences. Without that, loyalty becomes weakness, and weakness becomes repulsive. Machiavelli's warning is clear. Never waste loyalty on those who can or want to return it. Never believe that love alone will protect you. Build strength, demand reciprocity, and withdraw from anyone who bleeds you dry. Because loyalty without balance isn't love. It isn't an honor, it isn't noble. It's just another trap for the weak. So the next time someone demands your loyalty, ask yourself, what have they given in return? And the next time you feel the urge to keep giving love to someone who takes and never gives back, remember this: fools are made to be used. And if you don't set the rules of the contract, you're already the fool in someone else's game. Dark Truth 4. Reputation and Deception. The two ultimate weapons, if fear and strength keep the wolves away. Reputation and deception are the weapons that make a man untouchable. Machiavelli saw it clearly. Power isn't just about what you are. It's about what people believe you are. And if you fail to control that belief, someone else will control it for you. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are, Machiavelli wrote. Translation: the world doesn't reward the real you. It rewards the strategic you. Your reputation is your armor, the shield that protects you long before you step into a room. And deception, it's the sword, the hidden blade that strikes when truth would leave you exposed. Look at history. Alexander the Great conquered half the known world not just with soldiers, but with myth. Stories spread that he was invincible, a demigod. His enemies often surrendered before battle even began, paralyzed by his reputation. Fast forward to the modern age, Steve Jobs didn't just build products. He built an aura, a reality distortion field so powerful that investors, employees, and even competitors bent to his will. Was every claim true? No. Did it matter? Not at all. The reputation was the weapon. Now look at the men you know who complain constantly, who overshare their weaknesses, who explain themselves endlessly. They think authenticity means showing everything. In reality, it makes them vulnerable. No one respects the man who pleads to be understood. No one follows the man who wears his insecurity on his sleeve. Because reputation is not about truth. It's about perception, and perception shapes reality. But here's the darker law: reputation alone is not enough. Because once you rise, there will always be those who envy it, those who try to tear it down. And that's where deception becomes survival. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince never lacks legitimate reasons to break his promises." He didn't mean cruelty for cruelty's sake. He meant that deception is not corruption, it is a weapon. In nature, the fox pretends weakness to lure prey. The snake camouflages itself to strike. Humans are no different. Politicians promise change they never intend to deliver. Corporations sell poison wrapped in words like freedom and happiness. Even in your personal life, people promise loyalty forever, until keeping that promise costs them something. And if you cling to blind honesty while everyone else wields deception strategically, you're not noble, you're prey. But let's be clear, deception doesn't mean lying recklessly. That's what fools do. Strategic deception means showing masks, hiding knives, revealing just enough to mislead those who would use the truth against you. It means controlling what others see while keeping your real intentions hidden. It's not about becoming fake, it's about becoming untouchable. Reputation and deception are a balance, like fire. Left unattended, fire dies. Spread too wildly, it burns you alive. But controlled, it gives warmth, light, and fear. The same with your image. Guard your reputation more fiercely than your money. Manage your deception with precision. Because a single crack in your image can destroy years of work, and a careless lie can destroy trust forever. Ask yourself, how are you seen by others? Not who you are inside, but what people believe about you. Do they see strength or weakness? Do they see scarcity or desperation? Do they see a man who commands or a man who begs? Every detail, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the boundaries you enforce feeds into your reputation. And every mask you wear, every silence you choose, every truth you withhold, those are your weapons of deception. Machiavelli's lesson is merciless but liberating. Stop chasing the fantasy that the world will reward the real you. It won't. The world rewards the strategic you. Build your armor, wield your blade. Because without reputation, you are defenseless. And without deception, you are predictable. And in a world of predators, predictability is death. Dark Truth 5. Morality is control, not truth all your life. You've been told that morality is absolute, that there is good and there is evil, that honesty, obedience, and sacrifice are virtues, while selfishness, ruthlessness, and deception are sins. It feels comforting to believe that the universe has a moral order, that justice always wins, that the righteous are rewarded and the wicked are punished. But Machiavelli shattered that illusion. He saw morality for what it truly is, not an eternal truth, but a tool, a weapon wielded by the powerful to control the powerless. A prince must learn how not to be good, and to use this knowledge or not to use it according to necessity, Machiavelli wrote. In other words, morality is not something you are bound to, it's something you manipulate. History proves it. The church burned men alive in the name of morality. Nations justified slavery, conquest, and genocide by redefining virtue as obedience to their power. Modern governments wage wars and call it defending freedom. Corporations exploit workers while preaching family values. Morality isn't truth, it's narrative. And those who control the narrative control what the masses believe is right or wrong. Here's the darker twist. The powerful rarely obey the morality they impose. They don't have to. They make the rules for everyone else, while breaking them whenever it suits their survival. They tell you it's wrong to lie while deceiving you daily. They tell you it's wrong to be ruthless while crushing competitors without hesitation. They tell you to sacrifice while hoarding resources for themselves. And the masses accept it because believing in morality feels safe. It creates the illusion of fairness, but that illusion is a cage. It keeps you obedient, compliant, and predictable. The weak man clings to morality as if it were truth, and he pays with his freedom. The strong man understands morality as a tool, something to wield when it benefits him, and to discard when it threatens his survival. Does this mean you should live without principles? No. It means you should stop being a prisoner of someone else's moral code. Learn to appear moral when it serves you, and break those same codes when necessity demands it. This isn't hypocrisy. It's survival. Every empire, every business, every relationship runs on the same hidden economy. Fear and reward, not abstract ideals. Look around. Parents shape children not just with wisdom, but with punishments and rewards. Politicians rise not by embodying truth, but by selling fear of enemies and hope of salvation. Even in love, partners manipulate through affection withheld and affection given. The machinery is always the same. Control the fear, control the desire, and you control the person. Machiavelli's warning is merciless. Morality is not your shield, it's your leash. If you want freedom, stop clinging to it as if it were divine law. Use it as a mask. Bend it to your advantage. Appear good when it strengthens you. Break good when it would destroy you. Because the man who obeys morality at all costs is not virtuous, he is a pawn. And pawns don't survive the game. Now you see the world differently. You've walked through Machiavelli's dark corridors of truth, and the illusions that once protected you have shattered. You've learned that people are not rational, they are emotional. That the world is a jungle of predators and prey. That loyalty and love are fragile illusions, easily broken. that reputation and deception are weapons sharper than any sword, and that morality itself is not truth, it is control. You can't unlearn this. From this point on, every smile will look different. Every promise will sound hollow. Every act of virtue will raise questions. You'll see the masks people wear, the strings they pull, the illusions they cling to. And the terrifying part is this: you'll realize how often you've been the pawn, how often you've been prey. But here's the choice. Knowledge like this is a weapon. In the hands of the weak, it becomes paranoia and fear. They see betrayal everywhere and collapse under the weight of suspicion. But in the hands of the strong, this knowledge becomes power, the kind of power that bends the world. Because once you understand the hidden laws that govern people, you stop being controlled by them. You stop being a piece on someone else's board, and you start playing the game yourself. Machiavelli's writings weren't just warnings. They were blueprints for influence, for dominance, for survival. The men who studied him in secret, kings, generals, CEOs, presidents, used his insights to rise above the rest. And now, those same truths are in your hands. The question is not whether you believe them. The question is whether you will use them. Because the world doesn't reward the honest man. It doesn't reward the endlessly loyal, the harmless, the obedient. The world rewards the strong, the cunning, the man who understands that appearances matter more than reality, that fear outlasts love, that morality is a mask to be worn or discarded at will. That man becomes untouchable. That man is never ignored. So now I'll ask you, will you bury this knowledge and pretend you never heard it? Or will you sharpen it, carry it, and walk forward as one of the few who truly see the game for what it is? The choice is yours. But make no mistake, once the blindfold is off, there is no going back. You've stepped into the darkness, and from now on, you'll never see the light the same way again. If this video struck something inside you, if it forced you to look at the world differently, then don't let the lesson stop here. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next video. I promise you, the truths to come will not make you comfortable, they'll make you powerful. And now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of Machiavelli's warnings hit you the hardest? Was it the illusion of loyalty, the fragility of morality, or the power of reputation? Share your lesson, because when we name the truth out loud, we take the first step toward mastering it.